All right, welcome back, everybody. Let's continue that interview with Professor Arthur Mutambara. He became Deputy Prime Minister of Zimbabwe at the age of 42, and that was between 2009 and 2013. Mutambara, former Prime Minister Morgan Tsvangirai and President Robert Mugabe were three principals who created and led the government of national unity. He's launched a book, In Search of the Elusive Zimbabawean Dream, an autobiography of thought leadership. Let's continue our discussion with the Professor. Thank you again for being with us here on the program. We were talking about politicians, and we were talking about good politicians, bad politicians. Now, you once described President Robert Mugabe as an upright and incorruptible revolutionary. What went wrong? How do politicians become ugly?
That was a view when we were young. We were overly impressed by the liberation struggle and the nationalists. But of course, we later became disappointed because of the excesses, the corruption, and the lack of democracy. However, let's talk about politics. They say it's a dirty game. Yeah. But somebody has to play that game. And so let's have some of our best minds play that game. Why? It's a game of power. And power is not a dirty game or a dirty name. Power is important. The definition of power is the ability to change reality. We want to change reality. You need power. Now, to change reality effectively and for the good, you need ideas. Unfortunately, those with power generally have no ideas. And those with ideas have no power. Yeah. So what we should try to do is to make sure we bring ideas and power together, and then we can bring about a good reality. We can improve the conditions of our people. So we must make sure that we have some of our best minds, not only in business, academia, and journalism, but also in political office. A people get a government that they deserve.
What happened to you, though? Because so many people felt that you let them down. 2013, Government of National Unity, it was almost like you were the key with Morgan Tsvangirai to change things. And yet, in 2013, you decided, I'm walking away from this. Why? I know you cover it in your book, but let's talk about that.
You know, I thought I should take a strategic break and allow others to flourish and go out and learn more skills, media, technology, and put pen to paper. But unfortunately, there's disarray. The ZANU people are busy fighting each other like Costi G40. The opposition is challenging, has got challenges. They're trying to work together in a coalition. There's work to be done. But I took a break. But that doesn't mean that is a break forever. But I thought at a personal level, it's time to take a strategic break and allow others to flourish and go do other things because I've got skills. And remember, we're talking about a combination of academic excellence and social responsibility. And also, I felt it's important for me to put pen to paper, and I've done that.
Yeah. Do you regret that, though? Because, I mean, when you look at Zimbabwe now, I mean, just some of the things that we can talk about is the currency. There is no currency in Zimbabwe. When in the 80s, it was stronger than the US dollar. The UN has put out saying that unemployment is at 95%. The population that's living in extreme poverty sits at 72%. Does that not, I mean, that must, in a way, do you have a sense of regret that at that time you could have maybe taken over where Robert Mugabe was about to
Not necessarily.
lead?
Yes, we're having challenges, but I think Zimbabweans have the capacity to solve those problems. We just need to work together as Team Zimbabwe. We need to put the national interest above partisans' aspirations, put the national interest before personal interests. So the capacity is there. What's missing is leadership. What's missing is coordination. What's missing is that national vision that we should rally behind and fix our country. But also, let me emphasize this. The South Africans must also take a vested interest approach to Zimbabwe. South Africa won't make it if Botswana is unattractive, if Zimbabwe is unattractive. Remember, we're now talking about regional attractiveness, regional competitiveness, continental attractiveness. So, yes, Zimbabweans must solve their problems in their country, but SADC must also take a vested interest approach to Zimbabwe's challenges. The African continent must take a vested interest approach in solving problems in individual countries, because we're going to sink or swim together as Africans. But as Zimbabweans, we are going to be masters of our own destiny. We'll solve our problems working together as Team Zimbabwe.
Will you be running in the next elections for president?
Right now I'm busy working on writing culture. I'm busy driving the essence of encouraging the African to document. Why don't I concentrate on that for now?
Because Zimbabwe needs you.
So I think we do one thing at a time. Right now we are publishing books, we're writing, we're talking about the essence of documentation. We're encouraging the African to read. The African must write.
Yeah.
That's my agenda for now.
All right.
But it doesn't preclude other activities in the future. But for now, writing, reading, and writing
is what you're focusing in on.
Yes.
Well, the first volume is out. It is available. I urge you to read this because hopefully in the next 5 months, volume 2 will be coming out. And believe me, this book leaves you wanting. So you'll want volume 2 as fast as possible. And then, of course, volume 3. So it's a book that comes out in 3 volumes. And we were very privileged to have this conversation with Arthur Mutambara, who, of course, used to be the Prime Minister in Zimbabwe. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Deputy Prime Minister, thank you for correcting me. Deputy Prime Minister, thank you so much for joining us here on the program.
Thank you very much for this opportunity to share with your listeners and viewers.
Absolute pleasure. All right, I'm rushing here on the program because we've got to take a quick break.